They can compete with Vanderbilt. They can compete with Ole Miss. I feel like that. I feel like that. Now you know some of the other ones, Ohio State, Indiana, you know, Alabama. Some of those guys, some of those them some big gentlemen. Them some big gentlemen there. But my thing is, yo, when you're playing team ball, David against Goliath, none of that stuff matters, bro.
Yo, bro, none of
that stuff matters. So, I think they can compete with them, bro. And I just feel like, yo, if they went out, they deserve to be in that talks, bro. Simple as that.
They do.
Simple as that. They deserve to be in that talk. So, you would say, oh, what about Notre Dame and what about Miami? What about Tennessee? Okay, well, they ain't smelt the loss right now. There's a couple teams left that's playing with no losses, and they one of them. So you got to get that to them. You can't just disrespect. Don't disrespect them like that. Now, that's my thing.
That's a fact, dog.
So don't disrespect.
That's a fact.
At least give them a chance.
At least give them a chance, dog.
Yeah.
So how I look at it is like, yo, Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech, they built exactly the exact same way BYU is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heavily dependent on the quarterback making the plays, and it's crunch time, they're going to the quarterback. You stop the quarterback, you stop the team. You know what I mean? Except for BYU, you stop there. I mean, they had LJ Martin. Depending on health, you know, I feel like BYU has a couple more options than Vanderbilt or Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ole Miss, I feel like they can defeat Ole Miss because Ole Miss's defense is suspect. That's just me. You know, I feel like they defense is suspect, dog. When you get up to like Oregon, I feel like it's any given Sunday. Any given Saturday. Any given Saturday, dog. Any given Saturday. Hey, shout out to Why is Gomorrah 3721? BYU would boat race most of the top 25 teams. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yo, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Because people just straight sleeping on BYU off the rip.
Trying to play them.
Yeah, they're trying to play them, dog. They sleeping on them. And some of BYU's strengths are their wideouts, they tight ends, they running game. How are you going to defend all aspects of the offense? And then Bear is the last component. How are you going to defend Bear?
Mm-hmm. Don't let LJ get the cooking.
Yo, once LJ get the cooking, it's a wrap, dog.
Don't let him get the cooking.
It's pretty much a wrap. Let's just say hypothetically, if BYU had to host Vanderbilt in the playoffs, bro, or vice versa, how would that game go? I would give the advantage to BYU's linebackers going against Pavia. That's easy.
Mm-hmm. Easy. It will play into their hands, bro.
It will play into their hands.
It will play to what they like doing. Some of these teams, that's top 5, it'll play right into what they like doing.
If you have a running quarterback, you're playing right into BYU's hand.
That's facts. That's facts. They done proved that all year.
For sure.
They proved that all year. Run if you want.
Hey, yo, shout out Shaking My Head. He says, BYU can compete with the elite, especially if it's a home game in Provo, but they just don't have the depth yet, but they are building that. NIL is in place. Athletic director is solid, etc. Shaking My Head. I appreciate your comment. And I've seen you have multiple comments in our previous videos. I appreciate you shaking my head for sure.
Appreciate it.
And they definitely have a point.
Yeah.
Shaking My Head has a point. Like the depth is a concern. We seen that when Kelly was out. But if they can stay healthy, man, I would put my money on BYU any weekend. Dog. They have the makings of a team that can make a run on any given Saturday. They can beat any of these teams, though, because they can score and they can stop you.